The name of this coffee is Elita Estate Green Tip Geisha. It's one of the most expensive washed coffees in the history of coffee. And we sell it for $29 a cup in our coffee shop. Some geyser trees produce leaves that have green tips rather than bronze tips. Over years and years of testing and tasting, we've kind of come to realize that the ones with green tips taste a little bit better. It's very difficult to grow. It does not produce a lot of fruits.
I mean, if you think about it, people pay how much for a glass of wine? So I don't understand why we can't put coffee on the same pedestal as any other high-end beverage.
Almost every single coffee I've tasted, I try to take a picture of it or say something about it. I've tried over 600 plus beans. I travel for coffees.
I probably spent 200 hours working on my grinder. Then again, I don't think I'm the typical consumer.
Coffee geek culture. There's a lot of us. Again, we're just crazy, passionate nerds.
Specialty coffee is, it's in the name, right? Special. We've used that term pretty broadly because I think it's still being defined versus commodity coffee, which is what we see coffee as in the past.
When we're thinking about waves of coffee, if we have the first wave, that's where we have coffee that's like instant coffee, a coffee that's in a can, maybe diner coffee. Although, I will say I love diner coffee. You go and put some cream and sugar in there with your bacon and eggs. Love it. And then second wave is something like Starbucks. Thank you, Starbucks, for making people okay with paying like $5 for a cup of coffee or a blended drink.
They did a huge thing in this industry. They got people talking about coffee. They got people excited about it.
Specialty coffee became a thing basically with Starbucks.
What we're starting to see is people thinking about quality. And then third wave, we start seeing a shift into the coffee itself, thinking about where it comes from, the quality and the craft.
In the past, it's been all about brewing. Now we're dialing in coffees to minute levels where we're measuring TDS on everything and extraction levels and trying to get water to extract coffee correctly.
Now we have not regional coffees, and not only single grower coffees, but we have a bourbon from the grower, a typica from the exact same grower, different varietals from the exact same grower and different really small micro lots.
Just to know the farmer's name. How many people know, how many beer people know the farmer that actually grew the beer? That's really pretty cool.
The lines of communication have just increased because of technology and smartphones, that we're now able to request specific things from farmers, or farmers are able to send us specific experiments.
We can take that exact same single farmer and say, we want your bourbon, but in your processing method, we want you to ferment it for 12 hours. And then over here, we ferment it for 32 hours. We're able to do things now that just wouldn't have literally been possible 5 years ago.
Hello, judges. Today, I will be brewing you a delicious cup of coffee. It goes through a fermentation of 12 to 18 hours. It is dried anywhere from 2 to 3 and covered weeks, partially from 11 to 2 p.m. to avoid intense heat. Notes of heirloom tomato, toasted herbs, 1 to 16 ratio. The roast about just over 9 minutes.
You've never done this before? This is your first year?
Yeah.
You're poised and you're creative. No, you're doing so good.
There's a whole score sheet, and being able to know what the judges are looking for, what they're going to be filling out as far as information about the coffee, as well as flavor information, tactile qualities. All of that stuff matters.
4,
3, 2, 1, slurp!
Cupping has become the worldwide standard of how to taste coffees.
We take a sort of bowl-shaped spoon and slurp up that coffee liquid. So you actually are meant to spray it all across your palate and really get the full experience of texture, of flavor.
The thing about wine, in that when you taste a Pinot or Cab, it's all coming from a grape, but they all have, different varieties, different terroirs in the soil. And in coffee, you're going to want to try to find the attributes, the sweetness, the acidity, the body, the cleanliness of a cup.
The number of aromatic compounds present in roasted coffee is greater than that of wine. There's like 1,000. People often are wondering what fourth wave is, and I think in many cases we might be thinking about high quality, fast pace, whether it's things like ready to drink, things that come in cans and bottles that consumers are able to grab and go with.
The good coffee's out there now. I think it's just a matter of preparing it in a way that's consistently good.
Not only that, I think it's also pairing of coffee as a food to other foods. How does this Colombia pair with this fish? How do I, enjoy this meal with this cup of coffee?
Global warming is definitely having an impact on all of us. It's going to be a lot of origins that aren't able to produce.
Recently, counterculture has opened its doors, and we've decided we want to be able to reach the people who are drinking our coffee at home. Welcome to Coffee at Home, or Perfect Home Brew. Our goal temperature is somewhere between like 195 degrees Fahrenheit and 205. If you use really, really hot water, it just won't taste quite as good. So if your coffee at home is tasting a little acidic or sour almost, it might be the boiling water that you are pouring on there.
I can relatively confidently say that if you were willing to spend somewhere around $4 to $5 on a cup of coffee a day, you're drinking the best coffee in the world. Literally. To be able to spend $5, you're drinking the best cup of whatever it is in the world is pretty crazy.
Coffee is not only about the taste, but it's also about connecting with good people. It's a culture in itself, not just a community, it's a culture.